Welcome back. For a pivotal decade, the newcomers, the British, participated actively in the governance of Southern. It was a subtle takeover. They introduced sweeping administrative and economic reforms, gradually weaving their power into the existing structure until they held major control, leaving the local king a mere figurehead. Their grand objective was not Southern, but the magnificent Sun City. They viewed Sandy's empire as a smaller obstacle, to be swept up later. The tensions between the British-backed Southern and Sun City swelled, yet Sun City's leaders were cautious, acutely aware of the unfamiliar might the British presence conferred upon their old rival. The British-controlled Southern steadily extended its administration, conquering smaller tribes and kingdoms across the extreme north and northwest of the mainland. They established a new, centrally strategic, and fertile capital in the region of Mavrate. For nearly 2 decades, the British Southern engaged in a calculated campaign of small-sized confrontations and cold wars with both Sun City and Sandy's empire. By the end of the 3rd decade, the British set their sights on the northernmost part of the mainland. This territory was guarded by the immense Mount Sentiny, a range formed by the collision of tectonic plates long separated from the mythical Southlands. The mountain was more than a geographical barrier. It was the revered birthplace of the Sain Lara, and its inhabitants were the fierce Sentinians. The Sentinians were mountain warriors. They used the terrain as a weapon, employing devastating tactics that repeatedly wiped out British advance parties. The British, their reputation for invincibility stained, were enraged. They felt compelled to display their might, and ironically, they chose Sun City as the stage for this demonstration. The subsequent war with Sun City was a calamity for the mainland powers. Sandy's empire was forced to partially lose its autonomy. The crucial coastal region of Parch and the strategic western Sandy's village fell under direct British control. Sun City suffered a devastating blow, losing the majority of its resource-rich lands and much of its military structure. Stronger than ever, the British prepared their second, overwhelming encounter with the Sentinians. They deployed a combined military force, drawing ruthlessly from Sun City and Southern soldiers to take down the mountain tribes. But the war calls were met with an unexpected resistance. Loud, organized protests erupted from both the Sentinians and the subjugated Sun City subjects. Their reason was not just political, but deeply spiritual. Mount Sentiny was considered holy ground, and an attack on it was an attack on their most sacred beliefs. In a remarkable moment of unity, the battered Sandy's village publicly defied the British and joined the rising resistance. Together, these 3 disparate powers ignited the first war of Sentinian independence. The war was a grinding, punishing defeat for the British. Their supply lines were severed by mountain tactics, and their morale was crushed by the united resistance of the populace. They were forced to abandon Sun City and their new capital at Mavrate, restricting themselves once again to the core region of Southern. The war had pushed them back 2 decades, leaving their administration crumbled and exposed. The 4th decade of the British presence was defined by chaos. The local population in Southern rose up, facing torture and oppression for voicing freedom. The British faced resistance both within the administrative walls of Southern and along the borders. Crucially, the bond between the Sentinians, Sun City, and Sandy's village grew stronger with every shared victory. Only Parch remained agonizingly out of Sandy's control. When the British control on Southern finally breached the break-even point, where the cost of occupation exceeded the profit, the local leaders and rebellions had no choice but to join the triumphant alliance of Sun City and Sandy's village. The Sentinians, who had already reclaimed Mavrate and made it their powerful second home, led the final charge. This collective force launched the ultimate war of liberation. The British were utterly routed and faced a severe backlash. Palaces and ships were burned, officers and soldiers were killed. A powerful, unified prejudice against the invaders echoed across the mainland. Finally, the British were forced to leave the state. Agreements were swiftly signed, and a new era dawned. The Sentinians, Sun City, and Southern united into a single entity, which the British, in a reluctant recognition of their most persistent foe, commonly referred to as the Land of the Centenians. The new state formally adopted the name the Republic of Centinia. 15 years later, demonstrating political prowess over military force, Sandy's village successfully negotiated the return of Parch, secured the eternal protection of its monarch status, and formally joined the Republic of Centinia, completing the unification of the great mainland powers.